Today I'm going to tell you the greatest wrestling experience I ever had and also the biggest wrestling regret I ever had, because they are one in the same. They are the exact same event. They're when I met Mick Foley and he assaulted me in a men's restroom in Detroit, Michigan. The Joe Louis Arena, to be specific. Don't cancel him, because I asked him to assault me and I enjoyed every single moment of it. We're going to tell that tale. But why? Why today am I going to tell you this flashback story? Well, it's because I'm calling my shot. I'm putting this into the universe. I have a huge, audacious goal to make this regret not a regret anymore. I don't want to think, what if I had done this? What if I had done that? I want to get it crossed off my bucket list, and I am putting myself out there to Maven, the YouTuber. Hey, Maven, Chop here. This is me talking directly to you. I know I'm a nobody in the YouTube space. I know I have a fraction of your subscribers, and like, for real, like, this will not benefit you at all, unless you can maybe make a video out of it, I don't know, but like, very little upside for you to do this. So like, I've got nothing to offer you other than my pleas and my begging of mercy that you would help me get this in front of Mick Foley and maybe erase that regret off of my life. So I got to tell you the story, though, in order. I got to tell you the story, and then I'll tell you what I'm begging for you to help me, how you can help me. And disclaimer, everybody, I don't know Maven. I don't know how this would get in front of Maven, but I will say this. If Maven does see it and he decides not to help me, no ill will whatsoever. So please, no matter what happens, there's no hatred towards Maven on this one. And I would just, but that said, please. Okay, so I did tell this story, actually. I told this story one time on this channel before, when the channel had, like, I don't know, maybe 100 subscribers. And honestly, I don't think I could tell this story any better than I did. So I figured, since this is a flashback story of the Attitude Era, I'm going to do a flashback of me retelling this story of a flashback to the Attitude Era. So roll the footage. This is a true story, by the way. I'm not making anything up. So it was the era of Sunday Night Heat. If you don't know what Sunday Night Heat was, it's basically an in-between of Main Event and Velocity and SmackDown. So Mankind, he is not wrestling because he's injured for some reason. I don't know why he's injured. I can't remember that. But the show's over. Me and my brother-in-law, Nathan, what's up, man? Nathan and I, we are leaving the arena. It's the Joe Louis Arena. We're leaving it, and all of a sudden there's a commotion, right? We're walking, and I can start seeing and hearing, so I'm very observant. I start hearing people say, like, they're chattering, was that him? Was that him? Who was that? I can't believe that. I think that was him. And then so I just stop. And if you haven't noticed, I'm a little intense, all right? I'm a little intense, and I don't really have shame, but I try to be respectful. I do try to be respectful, but I definitely was not in this story. I completely fanboyed, marked out. I couldn't help it. I did, and you'll hear more about it in a second. So anyways, I stop a random person, and I'm like, who? Who are you talking about? They're like, Mick Foley. I'm like, what about Mick Foley? I think that was him. I'm like, what do you mean you think that was him? Like, I think that, like, he just walked by here. I go to Nathan. I'm like, oh my God, Nathan. Oh my God. Mick Foley just walked down. That was Mick Foley. The person that they were talking about. That's Mick Foley. And he's like, what are you talking? Who's Mick Foley? Mankind. And I just ran. I am not joking you. I just ran. I looked like a lunatic. And do not, please, people, do not do this. Whatever I did in this story, do not do it, because I was an idiot and a moron, but I'm gonna tell the story anyways. So I run, right? And then I see a congregation of people, right, outside of the men's bathroom. And everybody's like, he's in there. Oh my God, that is him. And I run right to it. I'm like, is he in there? And I point to the bathroom, and they're like, yeah, Mick Foley's in there. And I'm like, I just run right into the bathroom, and I run, and there he is. I see his back, right? And he is taking a leak. He's at a urinal, just peed. And I'm like, oh God, I'm horrible. I'm absolutely horrible. I've never done something like this again. I couldn't help it. You guys do not understand how much I loved Mick Foley, and I fully 100%, I apologize, Mick. I am so sorry for doing this. But anyways, let's go back to, let me just tell the story. I'm kind of embarrassed now that I actually say it out loud. I haven't told this story in years. I think I've only told this story like twice even. So anyways, there he is, taking a pee, and I'm like, oh my God, Mick Foley, Mankind, oh my God. And he looks over his shoulder, and there I am. And there's a crowd of people still, actually. There's a crowd of people in the bathroom. Well, maybe about 5 or 6, but they're standing off to the side. Mick's over here peeing, and I'm right here by myself, isolated. And I'm just like, oh my God. And he turns his head, and he looks kind of at me, and he's like, hello. He's like, hello. And I'm like, hi Mick, how are you? I'll be honest with you, I can't remember if I was calling him Mankind or Mick Foley. I think I was jumping in between. Because to me, he was Mankind. He was the guy getting thrown off the cage. And I'm like, oh my God, hi, how are you? And he's like, I'll be better in a second. And I'm like, yeah, of course you will. And so then, he shakes, and he turns around, and I go, now here I am, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, play it cool, Ken, don't look like a fool. Too late. So I'm just like, Mick, can I shake your hand? And he just looks at my hand, and then he goes, can I wash mine first? And I'm like, oh yeah, you can totally wash your hands first. Here, let me show you. I literally said that. I'm trying to play it as cool as possible, right? I didn't mind looking like a moron in front of all the people, but now that I'm there with him, I'm trying really hard not to be a fanboy, but I still can't help it. It would be like a Taylor Swift fan meeting Taylor Swift, all right? Maybe you don't find Mick Foley that amazing, but I did. He was my absolute favorite during the Attitude Era for the most part. Oh man, this is taking me back. Thank you for listening to the story. This is taking me back where I was all like, oh yeah, totally. Here's the sink. Here's the sink, you moron. And then, so he's washing his hands. He gets done washing his hands. The moment the water goes off, I'm like, can I shake your hand, Mick? And so he shakes my hand, and I'm like, thank you so much. I love everything about you. Stalker alert, right? So then another guy steps up and he's like, can I take a picture of you? And Mick's like, yes, you can. And so he's about to take a picture, and I'm trying to leave Mick alone, but I'm also still just bursting with joy that I shook Mick Foley's hand, right? And I'm just watching the whole thing, and he's like, you can take a picture. And he's like, would you like me to do the Mandible Claw? And the guy who was taking the picture was like, yeah, I would like you to do that. And then Mick Foley turns around and he's like, who should I pick? And here I am just I raised my hand. Suddenly I don't want to I have respect. I raise my hand. And he's like, all right, come on. I don't know why he picked me, because I was a psycho. For all he knew, I was going to, steal his hair and try to clone him. But anyways, he picks me, and he's like, come on. And I'm like, thank you. Oh my God, this is awesome. Thank you. And so he's like, I'm going to stick my fingers down your throat. I'm like, yes, that's fine. Do whatever you want. Oh my God, the Joe Louis Arena bathroom. It is so dirty. So then he literally sticks his 2 fingers after he just peed. So his fingers are down my throat, and he did wash his hand. And I'm just trying to pose. I'm as he does it, I'm hurt, but I'm just smiling like a moron too. So it's like this.
And so then he takes the picture and he just says, all right, I'm going to leave. And I'm like, at that point, I have started to calm down, but I'm still like geeking out. And I'm just like, you just made my life. You are so awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I can't even remember what he said at that point, but he basically just said goodbye. I can't remember exactly. I think I was just so euphoric at that moment. And this is where, though, this is the part that I regret the most. So then the guy, right, so Mick Foley's gone, and I'm just like, just amazed. I'm like, man, I need proof. And this was before cell phones were like, people were taking pictures with cell phones. And, we had cell phones, but they were meant for calling people. So I talked to the guy after who took the picture, and I'm like, please, can you send me the picture? I was so geeked out. I made the stupidest mistake. Literally, one of the biggest regrets of my life. I gave the guy my address, right? Because he lived in Ohio. The guy was from Ohio. I remember that. Another reason to hate Ohio, other than the turnpike. He's from Ohio, and I asked him, can you please send me that picture? I will pay for anything. I will pay for the, we actually had developed pictures also at the time. And I was like, I will pay for developing. I'll pay for shipping. I'll do anything. Here's my phone number. I was so like geeked out. I didn't even get that guy's phone number. All I gave him was all my information, but I never took any of his information. So I never ended up getting the picture. Like, for real. Like, I have no proof that this really happened.
And this is why I've come to you, Maven. I've come to you, and I hope and pray that this video can get in front of your eyes, and maybe you would have mercy. I mean, I know you helped a 7-year-old kid. Would you help a 46-year-old kid meet his hero? Oh, man. If there was somehow, some way that maybe you could talk to Mick Foley for me, call him up, text him. I saw you guys did a video together. Ask him if he wants to meet one of his biggest fans in, like, I don't know, a bathroom, so he could put his fingers down my throat and you take a picture. I would really appreciate it. If we want to do it in the Joe Louis Arena, how about this? I'll buy everybody a plane ticket. I will literally buy Mankind, Mick Foley, sorry, Mick Foley, you, Maven, your producer, everybody. We can fly to the Joe Louis Arena. I'll buy all the tickets. I'll buy everything. I don't have the money for it, but I'll figure out a way. I'll donate some plasma. Or we could just do any bathroom, or just anywhere. I have nothing to offer you. Nothing to offer you other than, like, you both would be just so freaking legends for doing this. And, like, please. I'm trying to come up with something to give you, like, both a reason, but I have nothing. In fact, the more I talk, the more you're probably like, nope, gonna stay away from that dude. And I wouldn't blame you. And even if you say no, Maven, I hope you enjoyed, at least enjoyed this video. I am a big fan of yours, and I appreciate you watching. And if Maven doesn't watch it, and Mankind, Mick Foley, doesn't get to watch it, well, then I hope you viewers, you guys, you gals, you at least enjoyed this trip down memory lane. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you want to help, maybe tag Maven in the video or something. Get this, try to maybe help me push it to his eyes. Get the algorithm making this thing go up through the stratosphere. All right, boys. All right, girls. See you. Bye.